he's always been a pretty chill, mellow guy that looks like he just loves playing in the NBA, and he'll do all the dirty work that you need. And you need those kind of grimy players who will get physical. And again, Kevon's one of those other guys where, like, if you didn't know he wasn't 7 foot, you wouldn't notice much of a difference compared to other 7-footers because he plays at that high of a level.
End of the road with big men with our friend Kevon Looney of the Golden State Warriors. 4.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 0.4 blocks, and 67.4% around the rim. He was described as a big man who's all elbows in one of the reviews I was reading.
So only $3 million of his $8 million deal is guaranteed for next season. So he's not technically a free agent, but Tim Kawakami of The Athletic went on a Warriors podcast and was saying that they could waive him. And at that point, I would imagine a lot of teams come running to try and pick him up for a vet minimum deal there, just because he's a guy that 2 years ago was doing the dirty work on a title winning team, hitting the offensive glass. He's one of the more switchable bigs on this list in terms of being able to stick with ball handlers. I don't know that you'd be able to do any better reasonably on a vet minimum than this. And I know Looney's not everybody's favorite. He's undersized. I think he's 6'9" technically. And he doesn't give you athleticism or like a lob threat or anything like that. But if you needed to turn to him in a playoff situation and say, hey, we need stops or we need to match up with this team, Looney can do that.
Yeah, I'm just by far, no question. Kevon Looney, sign him up. Yep. You can't teach heart. I don't give a shit how tall he is. He's got a 8-foot heart. Playoff time, he's grabbing 20 rebounds. Shit, I saw him go in there and give DeMontis opponents all the hell he can get in that series. So, yeah, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a guy that's going to go out there and say, shit, if shit hits the fan, put me out there. I'm going to go play my ass off and get it done. So, yeah, this is, of everyone on this list, that's my guy. If we can get Kevon, I'm good.
The consistency that he's had over the course of his career, you know what you're going to get with him.
Yep.
My only concern is like, when you're that familiar with the system, can you adjust? You know what I mean? So that would be my one hesitancy. But, he reminds me a little bit of kind of like Al Horford too, where like, you don't know how they're going to get it done. You just know they'll get it done, and they're consistent, and their teammates know that they can rely on those guys, and their temperament is great. And Kevon's always been, he's always been a pretty chill, mellow guy that looks like he just loves playing in the NBA, and he'll do all the dirty work that you need. And you need those kind of grimy players who will get physical. And again, Kevon's one of those other guys where, like, if you didn't know he wasn't 7 foot, you wouldn't notice much of a difference compared to other 7-footers because he plays at that high of a level. So he's definitely by a mile the best prospect on it.
Yeah.
Last thing about Looney is that, after spending years setting screens for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Chris Paul, that's a skill that really helps this team. He and Nurk both ranked in the 97th percentile in screen assists last year. So he's a guy that knows how to free up his ball handlers for clean looks. That's what you need.
You damn right we need that.
He likes a midi, so he could fit right in with some of our other guys. Look, I think the one thing that makes me think you might actually be able to get him on a vet minimum is the fact that if he's cut, he's making $3 million regardless from the Warriors. So it's a little easier to convince a guy to come take a slight pay decrease when you're making $3 million regardless from your
Bias makes a good point too. I mean, you can't sleep on that stuff. I mean, you got the D-Lee and KD connection.
There you go.
So you got some familiar faces. Try to get that spark back. So yeah, I ain't mad at it.